Whenever I would describe Kevin to my friends or my family, I would always ask something along the lines of, "Have you ever seen the movie 4-Year-Old Virgin?" Because that's exactly how he is. Like, just except like gay and not a virgin.
That like, oh my god, I have to have that. I am a collector. I'm a collector. I like collecting things. There's such a euphoria in it, and when these toys are just so neat to see like these characters in physical form that I can hold and touch, and like, man, I love this design. I love this particular design. Or I love that monster. I love that scene, and it's just something that I've cherished my entire life. And the time that I've had with them has been like being reconnected with old friends. And sometimes I really wish that it was like Toy Story, because like I can only imagine what the party would be like out here at night, just with all these figures. It'd be awesome. Most of the figures I have are vintage. So I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series from Playmates from the 80s and 90s, the real Ghostbusters, most of those characters, as well as Beast Wars Transformers from the 90s. And then some older of the American Ultraman version from Bandai, as well as my Godzilla figures, and a few of the Masters of the Universe toys as well.
The way that I was brought up, it's if it's not necessary, toss it, that sort of thing. Something that like I told him the other day, I was just like, it's like sometimes I'm like looking around and I get annoyed about the fact that like we don't have a lot of space anymore.
Say we're probably about lowballing it, probably about 300 figures.
Yikes. Last year we walked around for maybe like hours, and he was like, "No, I need to find a specific toy that has this specific accessory for."
I'm aware of it. For a little while, it might go into storage, um, just because space is an issue in San Francisco.
Queer people were only like one-dimensional. At least that's probably like what you may think like growing up.
A lot of the male figures were kind of scantily clad, so you had like some of that going into play. So I think when I was younger, as I was kind of identifying that I was gay, there were certain things that took a while to identify that. But I think as I was kind of getting there, those things kind of like helped me identify that, because like I liked the girls because they were strong and they were cool, but I didn't think they were cute, and I liked the guys because they had tight underwear on. If you were to kind of think about a lot of the fandoms, they would be welcoming in that sense, because it's kind of, it doesn't really matter what your sexuality is. What matters is how you feel about the series. Like, how do you feel about Ninja Turtles? How do you feel about Ghostbusters? How do you feel about Beast Wars?
It makes me feel a lot more comfortable knowing that that community is out there.
And I think about Simpsons Tapped Out, and that actually made me built on my relationship with my husband, because he's a big Simpsons fan.
Well, it wasn't until we went to Comic-Con and I started seeing all these Simpsons toys.
I think he kind of got what I like about collecting these toys, because we walked away with a lot of Simpsons toys.
I enjoy it too, and I have my little corner of the room.
And we've gone through and collected most of like the really obscure characters that he really likes. Like, my grandmother actually bought a good portion of them for me when I was a kid. I kept my toys until I was 15. Really, I mean, I wanted to keep them longer than that, but my parents decided to go through and purge it one day and didn't really tell me about it. They figured that I didn't play with a lot of them anymore, which is true. I didn't really play with them, but it was really a matter of keeping them. It's still a sore subject, but it's okay.
My favorite piece of the collection would be my Krusty doll. Kevin got that for me as a birthday gift, and it's something that I used to have when I was, I think, like 15 or 16, and like I moved away and like I lost it.
When I see them, it makes me feel happy inside.
Now, I mean, I've come around to it, and it's like overall, it's something that makes him happy. Maybe eventually he'll sell all of his collections, and we can get that big wedding just like how they did in the ending.
These collections really are, I think, representative of who I was as a child, and that's who I'll be for the rest of my life. Occasionally, I will play with the toys. noises will sneak out. So as I'm moving Godzilla, you're like, "Wah," as I'm doing it, just can't help it. Can't help it at all.